Hello Black Apron family. Today on Meatless Meals we are making a delicious keto eggplant parmesan with a side of roasted Brussels sprouts. Looking forward to making this, guys, with you. Alright, first thing we're gonna take is 3 large tomatoes. I use Heirloom tomatoes. They're also known as beefcake tomatoes. Large, very juicy. We're going to make our own sauce from scratch. Nothing out of jar here, especially with Black Apron. So you're going to take the rest of your tomatoes, chop them up into 4 pieces just like this, put them in a nice sized bowl, and you're going to move to the next step. Next, guys, we're using 2 large mushrooms. I use portobello mushrooms, slice them up, and now I'm dicing them. We're going to use them for our meatless sauce to give us the texture that would be there if we kind of had ground beef in there. If you don't like mushrooms, that's okay. You don't have to use the mushrooms at all, and you can still get a nice robust flavor with your sauce. Next, guys, we're going to be chopping up 1 whole onion. You're going to chop this up as finely as you can. Get to slicing and dicing. A good trick to keep the onion from making you cry is putting it under cold water, or like I did, just lean back your head and keep that cutting board far away from your body. Just put it in a nice little bowl just like this. There you go. Get all the bits off the knife. Get all the bits off your cutting board. There you go. It's good. Just gather them up in a nice little pile. Put them in the bowl just like here. And your next step is going to be chopping up 3 basil leaves. I like to use fresh basil. I highly recommend everybody grow fresh herbs in their home. Just water them, set them next to a window, and you're all set. There's nothing to it. It's nothing better than growing your own veggies and herbs, and it saves you a ton of money. I'm just going to take 3 leaves, and next we're going to be adding 1 tablespoon of olive oil. It's going to spread that around the pan evenly, just like that. We're going to be adding in our onions. There you go. You should hear that sound when you pour them in. I'm gonna swish them around. Then we're gonna add in our 4 cloves of garlic that you should have chopped up as well. I'm just gonna mix that up. You can use minced garlic if you have it in your fridge. And also you're gonna add in your mushrooms once your onions and your garlic begin to start browning and caramelizing a little bit. You're gonna mix that up, mix very, very well. You want those onions and garlic flavors all to mix in with your mushrooms. Next, you're gonna be adding in the tomatoes that you sliced earlier. Just gonna put them right in the pot. You're gonna kind of squish the tomatoes down as best you can so that they're easier to cook. All right, you see me trying to chopping as best as I can with this spoon. I highly recommend not using the type of spoon I use, but using a wooden spoon. It's a lot easier. All right. Your next step is adding your 6 spice blend. That's oregano, salt, pepper, garlic powder, and onion powder. And then we're going to be adding in 1/4 cup of white wine and 1 cup of water. And then we're going to be adding in a can of roasted diced tomatoes. You're going to mix everything in nice and good, just like that. You want all those flavors to mix in. Wait for it to come to a boil. And then you're going to add in some tomato paste, a small can. All right. That's going to help thicken your sauce and help create that texture that you might be a little used to when purchasing a store-bought jar. But we're making it at home. Lucky us, right? Next, we're moving on to our Brussels sprouts, guys. We're going to chop the ends off and slice them in half. In case you didn't know, Brussels sprouts are high in potassium and vitamin C. We need all these nutrients today. All right, you're going to put them in the bowl. You're going to add 3 tablespoons of olive oil. I'm sorry, teaspoons of olive oil. You're going to add 4 teaspoons of pepper. Gonna get the cracking. Just grind them over if you have a grinder. Love using these grinders. All right, gonna make sure they're nice and evenly covered. You're gonna add 3 teaspoons of salt. Most of this is gonna end up falling off in the process of transferring it from here to the pan. And 3 teaspoons of rosemary. All right, give us a nice herby flavor. And then we're gonna massage. All right, we're gonna give them a deep tissue massage. Get in there. We're gonna get all those seasonings in every nook and cranny. And we're also gonna add, after we massage, a tablespoon of garlic powder. You can add more if you want, less if you want. I like mine to have a nice robust flavor of garlic. And you're gonna massage them again. All right, they should look like this by the time you're done. And then you're gonna set your baking pan and parchment paper out, and you're gonna place your Brussels sprouts on the sheet. The parchment paper is gonna keep your Brussels sprouts from sticking to the pan and overcooking. They're also good when you're done for cleanup. Just remove remove the parchment paper and throw it in the trash and wipe down your pan, and you're all set. All right, you're gonna line them up right here like you're making an American flag on your baking pan, and then you're gonna bake for 20 minutes at 400 degrees. All right, guys, next is our squash. We're gonna turn these into squash noodles. A little bit about squash. Squash is very high in vitamins A, B6, C, potassium, and fiber. It's also known as a powerhouse vegetable. All right, it's full of nutrients we need for our bodies. With these squash, I'm gonna chop off the tops and the bottom, and I'm gonna use my noodle maker for vegetables to make squash noodles. All right, we're gonna set these to the side. Our Brussels sprouts are ready, so we're gonna take those out the oven. They should be brown and crispy, just like this. You could drizzle a little bit of olive oil over the top, a little salt, pepper, and rosemary, just like before, a little Parmesan, and you're all set, guys. All right, next is our eggplant. We're gonna chop off the top, and we're gonna wash it again. In case you didn't know, eggplant is very high in antioxidants, which help prevent heart disease. We need anything that'll help us live longer, guys, and this eggplant is gonna help do that. All right, we're gonna slice it into nice, not too thin but not too thick slices, just like that. We're gonna put them in a pile. All right, next is our egg wash. I have this is 1 egg cracked. Then we're gonna add 1/4 cup Parmesan cheese, and also 1/4 cup of hazelnut flour. We are staying keto. We're not using breadcrumbs. All right, the hazelnut flour is gonna give us a nutty flavor and also give us that crispiness we need, or that we might be used to from using breadcrumbs. Gonna mix it up well. All right, and the secret to success with this recipe using the eggplant is dry, wet, dry. So we're gonna take our dry mixture. We're gonna spread that all on top of the eggplant. All right, make sure it's nice and covered. Then we're gonna dip it in our egg wash. Make sure you get the egg on both sides. All right, and then you're gonna put it back in our mixture, just like that. Make sure it's nice and covered evenly. And then you're gonna put it in your pan and pan sear it. Make sure it's nice and hot and ready to go. We want that, we want to have a nice brown golden crust on our eggplant. And you're going to notice that the eggplant is going to change colors once it cooks, just like this. You saw it went from like a white color to now a yellowish. That's how you know it's cooking and it's going in the right direction. Your eggplant is done when it's golden brown, just like this. Next, we're going to saute those squash noodles just like this, and we're going to put them on a plate. Just 1 serving. This is just for us. Okay, guys, let's start the plating process. After you get your squash noodles right there in the center of the plate, you're going to start drizzling your tomato sauce that you made all by yourself at home right on top of the squash. You're gonna spread it evenly, nice and across, just like that. All right, next we're gonna add that eggplant parm. Gonna add that right on the top. Just lay it right there. See, it's nice and crispy. And we're gonna add our roasted Brussels sprouts right to the side of the plate. The more veggies, the better, right? Okay guys, it looks good, but we're not gonna eat it just yet. Last, we're gonna add our garnish. We're gonna add 2 teaspoons of Parmesan cheese. Just gonna sprinkle that right on top. Or you can add however much to your liking. It's your dish, you made it. You can make it however you want. And lastly, we're gonna add some fresh chopped parsley. We're just gonna put that right on the top. Those herbs are gonna bring the dish out so much once it hits your palate. And then, oh my gosh, that first bite was just tantalizing my taste buds. Ooh, I couldn't believe I just ate what I ate. And no meat involved, guys. Thanks, Black Apron family. Hope you had fun making this meatless meal. Tell me how you liked it in the comments. Make sure you subscribe and hit that notification bell. Remember, healthy minds equal healthy bodies.